Hello, everyone, and welcome to the kickoff of Rise with Reis. And Reis is spelled R-E-I-S. And I have Reis with me as my co-host on our new show that you are here. I see people already here watching us, and I've gotten messages saying, looking so forward to this. We have been I was just saying this to Reis before we came in. It's like, we're horses at the gate and, the gates are about to open. We're just ready to take off. So we have so much content packed for you for this entire journey of this show. And so if you're coming in your later, know that this is going to be a weekly show at this time every week. And let's see. Sorry, there was just something coming up here saying a hard time streaming. If you are on, okay, I see this. They're having a hard time. Instagram's having a hard time. We'll have to keep that in mind for the future. I'm not sure what's happening over there. But sorry, we're probably going to be missing the Instagram team tonight. But, okay. So the first thing I want to do is I want to introduce Reis, because everybody's probably like, well, who is Reis and what has Reis got to do with this? And there's a whole journey Reis and I have together. But I want to start by just giving her a warm welcome and sharing with you a little bit about her bio. And it's so, it's so deep and rich that I don't want to lose anything. I want to just share it, and I'm going to share her bio with you. So meet Reis. And her specialty is empowering enlightened souls. And she's been on this enlightenment journey for 25 years. She's a Reiki master teacher, an angelic therapist, and a twin flame empowerment facilitator. So it was 16 years ago when she realized that her calling was teaching people. And then her own personal path led her down the journey to meet her twin flame, Jonathan. And they've worked through these processes. They have healed their past traumas together and the pains that they went through, the painstaking. So she's going to get raw, real, and dirty with you, sharing how she's managed to be married to her twin flame for over 11 years. And the key, though, is harnessing that personal power. And they've already been introducing themselves a lot inside of the Facebook group that we have for Twin Flame Ascension Assistants. So you're going to find a link around in where we're live here. If you'd like to get plugged in there, you're going to meet her Twin Flame there. They've been coming live. They've been doing different things there to help you guys. This is the goal. They're ready to help people create this empowerment in order to then help elevate a person's inner self. And, that's why we're going to share with you about an inner work challenge that her and I have created that's going to start out live on June 17th through the 21st. I can't get it right. It's a 5-day challenge. And so anyway, they have found the work together has helped them heal these things. And now, they're coming out in this place of, offering hope to other people on this journey. And so they're just recently, I just got to say this, moved from the UK to Australia. And the journey they had to take to do that has been quite intense. And so you'll learn more about all of that as we go through this. But Reis went through my Lightworker Academy and got certified through my Reboot Your Soul coaching. And she came out of that and said, what is next? And at the same time, I was at this crossroads of knowing there's more to help with. And so this is how, in a nutshell, how her and I aligned. But in that, what I will say is I was writing a chapter on steps in order to come into alignment with your twin flame, basically your highest version, your highest match. And I was sharing with it in the group session she was in. And she said, well, I did those exact things to be with my twin. And she ended up being in a chapter. And then here we are now to share her story, not just her story, but her gifts with you so she can help you. So she's here to help you take your journey to the next level. And the question we have for you is, are you ready? Because she's ready to help you. So Reis, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Harmony. Oh my gosh, it is such a pleasure to be here, showing up for everybody, bringing my gifts, bringing my light, bringing my tools, my knowledge to assist everybody on their journey and their personal growth.
Awesome. So one of the things we just want to say really quick about, this is our kickoff show, as we said. So tonight's going to be a little bit about an understanding of what we're planning to do with the show, although there are some segments we want to talk about. But we're going to get raw, real, and dirty in the idea of what it's like to do the inner work, which is what our inner work challenge is about, that you can get signed up for. And again, you'll have a link above or below in order to sign up. It's free. It's a free challenge we're doing live on a Zoom call. As I mentioned, I got the dates mixed up a while ago, but from the 17th to the 21st, and it's going to be an hour that we're going to dive into that. And we invite you to join us, to complimentary join us in order to, because one of the things that, Reis and I keep talking about is how much more inner work do you have to do to elevate yourself to experience love, right? So let's kind of talk about that, Reis, first, okay? Let's talk about some of the inner work you've had to do to be with your twin flame, to be here, and to have a desire now to show other people how to do that.
Okay. So there are so many steps to the process of what I've had to go through, what self-discovery that I've had to go through. A lot of it has been, as I said, deep, nitty-gritty work that you've had to roll your sleeves up and really face. I feel a lot of the challenges have actually been facing yourself and being really, truly honest with where you're at. Now, that's pulling up everything, pulling up all of your lower stuff, the stuff that we don't want to look at. And this, I would say, it's the biggest challenge, isn't it? Looking at all of those areas that you don't really want to look at, but actually, let's bring them to the surface. Let's look at them. Let's be really, really honest with them. Let's fill ourselves full of love. Let's start understanding ourselves and understanding what unconditional love is for ourselves. That has been really, really powerful for me and my journey. And this is where I've had so many major breakthroughs, is really, really gaining that knowledge of learning about myself, learning about my emotions, my thoughts, my actions behind what I'm doing, my awareness, and then really applying it to my life. So when I met Jonathan, we've been married 11 years now, and I've got to say, coming together as a twin flame, we didn't fully wake up into our twin flame journey until about 5 years into our relationship. I was always in this awareness of where we were as a twin flame, but with Jonathan, we shifted slightly differently, and he then came up and we, there's a lot of mirror work that you do in your twin flame relationship, so much mirror work. So, we've come together to really, really share our gifts with everybody. The healing that I've had to go through before I met Jonathan was really stepping into my personal power and my self-worth. This was really gaining clarity around what my values were, how valuable I am and what I deserve and what I am worth. Now, being clear on this was a huge thing for me. And I found this before I actually met Jonathan. And this is where I see and understand and believe the universe then harmonically aligns us together in order for us to come together to do the work. And honestly, I've got to say, the work started when I met him. I did so much work before, and then coming together with him, the work really, really exploded. So it's gone from one level of empowerment to another, and we've had so many knocks and setbacks within our life, but the gifts that we've brought have been undeniably so powerful around situations, the healing that we've brought, the hope that we've brought into people's lives. And so does this answer the question?
Yeah, and let's take that a little deeper, though. Let's talk about, as you transition, as we go through a couple segments here, about letting go of the past, because letting go of the past and the story, that could be the stories, the programming, the rewiring. So let's take a look at the importance of releasing the attachments to those past things. And what I will say, knowing your story, and I know you're okay if I share this, but you went through a lot of trauma before you met Jonathan, and you already had a lot of values in place when you met Jonathan. You already knew Jonathan was not going to cross those boundaries because you were in your power saying, no, this is not this is the kind of relationship I want. So when Jonathan showed up, you already knew what you wanted in a relationship, right?
Yes.
But you had to go through a lot of trauma
Yeah.
to basically, and that's a piece of what we're going to talk about in the 5-day challenge that we're going to do, and how to do this work is how to like know what you don't like, what you don't want. So how do you take what you don't want to turn it to knowing what this is clear of what I want, right? So what I'm
Yeah.
really saying in this is, can you talk about some strategies, some principles, some techniques that you did to let go of that past, to not take that past with you technically still into your relationship with Jonathan? Because so many people haven't let go of their stories and they're hanging on to these attachments to the past. So they can't move forward with anybody to create that space and allow that to come in, to
Yeah.
even see
Yeah.
do the mirror work at that point with the twin flame.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So for growing up and going through my childhood, I had a series of trauma. I had my first son when I was quite young, and I had trauma around my childhood and in previous relationships, and I'd become a victim. I was living my life every day as a victim, low self-worth, and it was actually stepping into doing my Reiki that really started to create the shift. It was bringing that awareness in, and that was the first key. It was the awareness of, this is how I'm living my life. I'm giving my power and my vulnerability every single day to every situation, every word I speak, everything I do is coming from a place of low self-worth, lacking in worth for myself. And it was really bringing that awareness in that this has to change. So I started practicing mindfulness. I started understanding forgiveness. I started recognizing the people that had created those situations, caused the trauma, caused the pain within my lives. The relationships that I'd been in previously to Jonathan, they were controlling, they were full of trauma, they were full of addictions and anger and all of these different lower parts that were just so self-destructive. And I'd come to believe that this was a normal way of living. People just treat people like it, and that was how it was. So the awareness was brought into my life that it didn't have to be like this, that I could create this change. That was so powerful for me. So every day I broke it down. I broke down my thoughts. I broke down my actions. I had the conversations. I started looking at forgiveness, looking at the attachments, looking at the pain within my life, and start bringing it to the surface, which is a really, really hard thing to do when you look at it. But when you bring it up, the peace and the healing that you get from acknowledging that, from releasing it, letting go of the trauma. It's not saying it's okay what happened, but it's understanding why it happened. There's a reason why it happened. There's a reason why that happened to you. And it's going deeper. It's peeling back those layers and understanding what the lessons were behind each and every experience that I had within my life. This was really, really powerful. Now, I never stop using this process within my life and every day today. Everybody's here to teach us. Every experience, every pain is here to teach us, but it's understanding what the breakthrough is within all of these lessons that we can gain from each experience, from each person, from the trauma. So I really, really delved right into this, and I started learning forgiveness. I started learning to find that inner peace. I started practicing mindfulness. I started reaching out to angelic help, to mentors, to guides, to feeding myself full of knowledge and insight. And it became such a complete way of life. And I've got to say, for everybody out there that feels that, they just want this to be a part of their life, it will come. Daily practice, it will come. Believe in yourself. I believe in you. Believe in yourself. It's so incredibly powerful when you start linking into mentors. This is how I met Dr. Harmony. So I bought her book years ago, and she's been Twin Flame Code Breaker, one of my Bibles. The tools are incredible. So find your mentors, gain your knowledge, and never give up on yourself, because you're so, so worth it. So I came from a place of not having any worth for myself to finding that worth for myself, to then understanding what I really wanted. So we go through life and we know what what we are, and we go, oh, this is what I'm, and all the negatives that we pull up. But actually, what positives, what are your worth, what are your values, what aligns with you. Now, I understand this because this used to be me. I used to be the person that, oh, this is all I've got to give. I was a people pleaser. I lived every single day in a place of not really truly valuing my presence here, my worth here. And I took all these tools, all the knowledge, and I turned this around to gain this in order to align with the higher vibration, which attracted Jonathan in. So I got very clear about what I wanted instead of, and what I didn't want, and what my worth was. Instead of just settling and just going, this is what I'm okay with, I said, no, this isn't what I'm okay with. This is where I am, and someone has to come up and meet me here. Otherwise, I'm not prepared to settle. And actually being really, truly, powerfully aligned with your highest intentions and your worth created that powerful shift for me to allow Jonathan to come into my life.
Yeah, beautiful. So kind of like in a summary of that, so when we talk about letting go of the past, so to speak, we need to let go of those attachments so we can create the space. And what's really cool in that, the reason we stay attached is because we haven't got the lesson.
Yes. Yeah.
And so what you said by getting the lesson is the trick and the key here, because it's a mess, it's a mess or messes. It's, we stay stewing in them sometimes, and that's what's keeping it stuck.
Yeah.
And the goal is to go forward. And most people are like, well, how can I go forward? Well, technically you can't go forward until you learn what it is and you see what it is and you acknowledge what the lesson is. Because the minute you see the lesson, you'll implement new patterns of action, and then you're not repeating those programs anymore. So basically then we're talking about here about letting go of the past. Anybody is just joining us, make sure to check out the links above and below wherever you're at, because we're going to be doing a free 5-day challenge in order to go deeper into helping you do this live in a Zoom call that we're going to be doing for 5 days straight, an hour each day. So make sure to get signed up for that. It's free. And if you can't make it live, you'll be getting the you can get the replay as well. So in the second thing that we kind of move forward into this, so we kind of mentioned this, but gaining clarity on your desires, right?
Yeah.
So like knowing that, what is it that you do want? And you've already elaborated on this. So basically there were two parts of this: letting go of what's not working, and then looking at it from a place of what do I clearly want, right? And not settling for anything less.
Absolutely.
And so then the third thing is about taking action.
Yes, and taking action. So
tell us about and not only just your action, tell us in a way that the audience can have some tips and tools and strategies to take some actions to do these things in their own life.
So it was mainly the taking intentional action was overcoming my fears and my self-doubts, and understanding, really be looking at myself, understanding my thoughts, my emotions, and really stepping in. I'm so sorry. I don't know if you can hear this outside.
The lawnmower, or I can kind of hear it's better now. It's better.
So it's really taking those steps to align with my highest thoughts, my highest emotions, recognizing my fears, recognizing my doubts, recognizing things that are holding me back, and then really putting everything into action. I'm so sorry.
No, it's better now, actually. It's better.
Okay. It's really actually going out and having the communication, actually speaking to people, having those conversations, that setting those boundaries, really taking action steps for self-care, really looking at yourself and how we can physically go out and we can change each and everything around us. Now, a big part of me was how I was feeling. I was feeling undervalued within my job. I was feeling undervalued within relationships. I was feeling undervalued within so many different areas within how I was charging for my services. And it was actually shifting the power behind every single area that was brought into my awareness. So going out and actually changing this, having those conversations, setting those boundaries, learning to say no, which was huge for me. As I said, I came from being a people pleaser. I just wanted to please everybody. I wanted to make everybody happy. And actually, it wasn't ever about me, was it? It was about them. It was always about me, trying to fulfill a part of me that just was trying to find that worth, trying to find something that gave me a sense of purpose. So when that was brought into my awareness, it was really changing every single step behind everything I did, removing myself out of being in rush energy. You know, that rush energy where you're always late to everything. You've never got enough time. To me, this was something that I had to change. Let's take that intentional action to stop being in that rush energy, slow down, start being really, really present, start really noticing how people treat you, how you speak to yourself, how your thoughts affect your emotions, how then that goes through and travels through into your actions, and how then you go out into the world. You know, it takes a daily process of doing this, but you break it down into small chunks. And anyone can do this. This isn't something that is, you know, sometimes I feel like we're trying to look at the mountain that we've got to climb. So we just think, let's not climb it, you know, let's not do it. Let's just carry on. But actually you break it down into little baby steps, and you start being kind to yourself, start recognizing how much you are worth, having positive experiences, having positive people in your life. If something is feeling toxic in your life, look at it. Why is it feeling toxic? What are the reasons behind it? How can I take action steps behind changing these? And sometimes we've got to let people go. Sometimes we've got to let relationships go. And we will always, every time we really take mastery over these experiences, over these lessons that are coming into our life, we shift to that next level of awareness. So this has come with so many fears from myself. I mean, even moving to Australia, you know, unreal. It's unreal. It was so freaking scary, but actually,
yeah, you had to let go of a lot of stuff to do that. I know. I was following your journey. So yes,
we've let go of everything. So we don't actually know anyone here. You know, we've got friends in New Zealand, but actually coming to a whole new country and starting again with just the belief and the faith and the trust that you are doing this for your highest purpose. It's your higher calling. Yeah, it's really stepping out into the unknown. And that's facing a huge amount of fear, but that's me taking action around understanding the resistance. When something starts resisting in me, when something starts pushing against me, I look at it. I want to understand it. I want to grow from that experience. But I couldn't have done this without Dr. Harmony. I went through Dr. Harmony's Lightworker Academy, and not only did it elevate me to giving me the tools, it was my absolute grounding foundation to getting me here. It was incredible. So these were all the action steps that I've placed around myself and how I tackle things in my life.
And so what's really like unique about that, and I love about that, is because whenever I started helping twin flames in their journey and empowerment and rebooting their soul 8 years ago now, I knew whenever I was creating the tools that I was helping people, that I was doing it to help light workers step into their purpose. So by you stepping into your purpose is me stepping into my purpose, even at a higher, bigger level. So that's why I'm so honored for you to be a part of this. And it's like planting seeds that, you know, on fertile ground, and those seeds are multiplying. I can help one person, but one person can help lots more people, right? And that's what this whole journey is about. And so you have now a program and resources that you are working with twin flames and helping them. And I couldn't be more honored to have you step into that role through that process. And I would say that, you know, Reis is amazing. Anybody that needs any assistance on their journey and needs to take action in their journey, or, you know, needs to be accountable or learn some tools and resources, or take that deeper dive inside, because it does, that mentorship really does help. She has a program now that she's working with people doing that. So you can check out also how to get in touch with her in the links above or below, so you can learn more about her and the things that she offers there. But a piece of here, what we want to do in this show every week going forward is bring some tools and tips and resources to all of you. Also create some interaction and engagement with you so that we can actually answer questions. So we're going to ask if you have if you guys have questions, anybody that's watching now, or, even in the future. Hello, Heidi, welcome. Oh, awesome, Heidi. Thank you so much. I knew you said you were going to be here, so I'm glad you're here. So anybody has questions, make sure to be putting them in there now, and then we'll come back to that in just a minute. We'll go through a few questions. But one of the things I want to talk about now as well, one thing I just want to add to what you're saying is part of all of this is bringing balance to everything. It's bringing balance to our inner state so that we are creating that inner union that then creates the alignment of the frequency of who we are and making sure that we align with the highest version of ourselves so that we can attract our highest match, our highest vibration, which is that twin flame. And so you might have to let go of experiences. You might have to let go of stories. You might have to let go of people. You might have to let go of certain things. But the thing is, the journey is in here and it's a process inside. You don't have to continue the route you've been taking unless you choose. And, Reis, you and I have talked about this, and that's why we came up with the Inner Work Challenge I'm going to talk about here now. I'll give the framework and I'll let you kind of elaborate on it. But the goal in that is to, because everybody's like, oh, they know they got to do the inner work, right? And then it's like we've said that, like, well, but my God, how much more inner work do we have to really do to experience divine love? Because we're going around in circles and chasing our tails sometimes, right? And we know, even knowing we deserve more. And it's like, okay, what is it? And what I will tell you is I've went through a process of my own journey that came up with this sort of like secret, and I wouldn't even call it a secret sauce because there's nothing really secret about this, but it is what I feel is the answer. Okay. Reis came behind me saying, when I was sharing what those answers were based on somebody's question, and said, that's exactly what I did to be with my twin flame. And I'm like, okay, I just put out 2 days ago, I wanted somebody's story to match the story for that particular chapter. And there my story showed up without going any further, right? And the magnetism of that. But on our 5-day challenge, again, it starts on June 17th through the 21st. And we're going to go through 5 key principles during that. And part of that is exploring the self-love it takes and doing that from even a new, different level to help you really identify what that true self-love is, so you can begin to explore a deeper level of these things that maybe you haven't seen yet. And then in that, once they come up, then we're going to help you clear those things, show you how to clear those blocks, and then teach you how to set intentions for your perfect ideal love and match so that you can become that vibrational match. And then it will come to you. And now all you have to do is trust the divine timing for the right process of that. And it is proof in the pudding, because this is exactly what Reis did and exactly what I was shown to do. And I will say that even though I've had a different type of journey than Reis, where she's had that one ideal person that's been that person, she did a lot more work before he came in than I did back then. It's taken me a lot more work, which has taken a lot more teachers, which has taken a lot more what I call my revolving door reflections to show up. Plus, I feel like in my journey, I'm being put to this test of being like knowing every route and every path so I can like understand it for everyone, which is a part of my own mission and purpose. So get signed up for that, even if you can't make it, because you'll get the replay. And so Reis, I would like for you to maybe elaborate on that 5-day challenge, because we're super excited about it. We've already got the content ready and it's ready to go.
Wow. Okay. So we have got super 5 days packed full of knowledge.
Real quick, Reis, just real quick. There's a real big buzz. I don't know if on your mic, if there's something there. Or
is that better?
Yes.
Right. Yeah. Sorry, I had to put my headphones in because somebody was mowing outside.
Okay, that's okay. There's given a feedback.
Right, so we've got 5 days challenge. It is packed full of loads of information, loads of steps, loads of tools. Do you want me to go through every single day that we're going to be doing?
I would go through every single day because we want to honor everyone's time and stick to our time frame as best we can. But I would go through a highlight for sure, like definitely give them for sure. And I want to leave time to make sure nobody's got questions I see here right now. But make sure if anybody's just joined, we're going to be answering a few questions here in a minute. Go ahead.
Okay, so day one, we've got letting go of the past. So it's going to be packed full of tools, full of loads of advice. We've touched briefly on a little bit about that, but we're going to be going right down, as I say, into the nitty-gritty content of it all. We've got day two, which is gaining clarity on what you want, your desires, being totally crystal clear on your values, your worth, and what it is you can then align and attract into your life for your highest match. Taking intentional action is your day three. So this is, again, we've touched on this, on the steps and the process of what we're going to be doing around this. So that's going to be packed full of content. Then we've got day four, which is navigating separation and distance, which, again, this is coping mechanisms, tools. This is when we go into a place of fear and despair and all of these different areas. So it's talking about everything. It's been really real. And that's what I love. I love being real, being really, really raw, really to the point. This is something that, I've done every single step of this, and this stuff works. It works. So day five, we've got balancing personal growth within our twin flame journey. And in a nutshell, this is about all our tips, honoring our journey, honoring where we're at, and really, really rejoicing in who we are and our values, our worth, and aligning ourselves to our highest vibrational match, to our twin flame, or again, within that relationship, giving you those tools to navigate. I've done all this work. I've done all this inner work, and I'm really excited to share it all with you to help you on your personal journey.
Yes. And that's why we came up with the title, The Perfect Inner Work, because everybody's been doing inner work and it still hasn't been working. So this is coming to you with the perfect inner work to elevate yourself so you can attract your highest match. And that is our goal for you. And that, I'm so honored to be navigating this journey with Reis. She's such a powerhouse. And you can check out how to connect with her and learn more about her in the links above and below. And we want to honor everyone's time. And we will be back. And just to kind of give you an idea, this was like an overview of kind of like what the whole process is and what our goals for the show. But we will be here every week. And our goal on this show is to be able to show up and share with you these tools and resources in live action, live time, so that we can give you these resources that you can even apply in what we share in the show. So we'll be diving deeper into that. And there'll be a playlist on my YouTube channel. So anybody in any other platform can go there in order to get plugged into these. And so we do have a question now. So I'm going to click it up here. And we'll answer this question before we end. How to deal with grief and loss putting strain on your relationship. This would be very helpful. Okay, Reis, I'm going to let you answer that, dear.
So communication is huge around this area. And I find a lot of the time when we're going through grief and trauma, we isolate ourselves. Now, this again is part of our step 4 and our daily challenge, which we will be covering. Actually understanding and learning to listen to our emotions, being really kind on ourselves. I feel that a lot of the time we put ourselves under so much pressure when we are going through grief, when we are going through trauma. I know personally the journey that you're going through, Hayley, and I share that with you. I really am there with you. But really being kind, loving yourself, and really taking that pressure off yourself. When you communicate is really powerful as well. Maybe if you are struggling to talk about your feelings, talk about your thoughts, you could write it down in a letter, a love letter, and you could start trying to learn how to communicate with your partner in different ways. Grief and trauma is a huge part of going through shedding and letting go. And it's really learning to find that inner peace through forgiveness and being kind to yourself, forgiving not only through the loss, because we can feel so much anger and we can feel so much pain through the injustice of what we're going through. And then we can take it out on our partner as well, which is very common. So actually going within and understanding and being kind to yourself, talking to yourself, and then understanding how you can come together and talk to your partner and communicate is huge. So when we are having all our emotions coming up, and we're really learning to listen to them. If we're feeling angry, if we're feeling stressed, get your unit around you, have your support network around you. Yeah, they want to be here for you, they want to listen to you, they want to support you, even if they are going through grief as well throughout the process. It's about coming together, not becoming separate, a part of that journey. Also linking into different mentors. Oh, I love you. Also linking into different mentors, different guidance, seeking them out, because actually in this period, you'd be surprised that when you really open your eyes, I think a big part of what we do when we're in this, we go into that separation, we go into this whole, closed off, nobody's here for us, and it makes us feel safe. But actually being open and saying, I'm ready to receive guidance,
Mhm.
I'm ready to receive the teacher, receive the knowledge, receive the love that I am so worthy of, and acknowledging that and allowing a support group to come in to support you will then start helping. Because sometimes we put too much in that relationship and we don't have a different outlet, and that then can just kind of ferment in a way. Do you agree, Dr. Harmony?
Yeah, and what I would say to that also goes back to some of the triggers and the trauma and the protection mode that we go into, where we isolate sometimes instead of facing that emotion, but it's facing the emotion that's going to allow us to acknowledge where that emotion is coming from originally, because whatever's happening is really just the trigger. So when you can acknowledge where it started, where it's coming from, you can see it, feel it, to heal it, then you're able to release it and let it go, like we were talking about, earlier in this. And then the acknowledgement of where it kind of started then gives you an opportunity to reprogram the pattern or the rewiring of the brain, or the way you navigate it, as you go forward. And so I have to say this, I saw you and Jonathan's video in our Twin Flame Ascension group, which, by the way, if anybody came in, I mentioned there's a link to access that group where her and Jonathan are going in and helping people with assistance and leaving videos and just different tips to help people, some advice and assistance in our Facebook group. You can get connected there in the link above or below. However, I loved when Jonathan said that what he's gained on this journey has been his own sense of inner peace. That was so beautiful. And she said he did the forgiveness work to find that inner peace.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah, it was beautiful. So
Very powerful.
yes, I know. And that was very touching for you too, wasn't it? I could feel it.
It's all coming up. Yeah, it is. It's incredibly emotional. And, that's one thing that I'm so proud of. I used to suppress my emotions and actually because I felt it was being safe, Yeah.
Yeah.
But actually touching on my emotions, knowing that I can connect with them and I can allow them to flow freely. My gosh, what a gift that I've got to have this in my life. And I worked so hard, and so has Jonathan, in order to get to that place of feeling that inner peace through being able to connect like now with our emotions so easily.
Yeah. So yes, you're right, Heidi. And that's where, Heidi, the trauma comes in and creates the impact that you and I have talked about with the sensitivity. And it causes, you to be triggered and your nervous system to be, take on the triggers and the emotions of other people, because you have your own trauma that's being re-traumatized every time. But the minute you go in there and dig into it and feel it, then you're able to heal it from within, and then no one can re-trigger you now, basically. So let's see. Do you want to go ahead and respond there to Haley there, Reis? Sometimes.
Okay. Sometimes you feel like you can be a burden, especially if you are used to make everyone else feel better. What you have said is so powerful. I'd love to do the forgiveness work. Oh, that's beautiful, Haley. And you can feel like that because that's our vulnerability. We feel like we're putting too much on. If we have that people pleaser in us, that is part of our low self-worth, that we're here to make everybody else's lives better. We're here to fix everybody else. When we go through experiencing periods of grief and trauma, and actually we then need to reach out, we've got to really look at the lesson of what's being shown to you right now, Haley, within this part of what you're going through. So, when we look at your grief and your trauma, and you're saying it's about burdening everybody else, it's a real mirror about what you really, really need. You really need everybody else to really be there for you right now. And as I said, even if they are going through grief and trauma, bringing people together and not creating that separation, because that belief that you've got right here in that question, that statement that you've just said, is creating a huge separation in you, is actually segregating that you're not allowed help, that you're not allowed to be worthy of love and assistance and support in your life. And I can tell you right now, you so are, that people are honored to share this with you, to be there with you, to cry with you, to laugh with you, to love you. This is a gift of us coming together, of being humans and having this connection. So please, please open your arms, reach out, say, I'm ready now. I'm open to receiving the love that I deserve in my heart. Be open, ready to receive that, Hayley, because you are so worth it.
Beautiful. Cool. Powerful stuff. And we are so honored to be here. And I'm so honored for all of you that's joined us either live on our kickoff show or anybody that's watching the replay. Let us know if you have any questions in the comments sections below. Also, make sure to check out the information so you can get plugged into our 5-day challenge that's going to be live from June 17th to the 21st. And there's all the information, and you can sign up for it is in the link below. And we just look forward to showing up every week in order to support you. We've been so excited about this. We've been planning it. Actually, the thing I will say really quick, we've been planning it what feels like a long time. Like we have a lot planned, but we haven't like spent a lot of time planning it for what it just really just fell into place, really, because it just went click, click, click with not like, there was really no thought in any of what we did. It just happened, right? And here we are. So we want to thank you for, sharing that with us. And we look forward to seeing you next week. And we can't wait to do the live challenge. And then we just have much more content that's going to keep coming forth, keep coming out. And again, you can check out how to connect with Reis, learn more about her and her services and programs she offers in the links above or below. And we send you so much love and light. Thanks for joining us, and we'll be seeing you next week.
Thank you so much. It's been an honor. It's been a pleasure. Honor.
Thank you. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.